Hey everyone, Dylan here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about some stuff that I could cook when I had sight and stuff that I cook now being blind that I didn't cook because, things change and some things you may not be able to cook anymore when you turn blind, but I'll just start with the stuff that I could cook when I had sight. So, after a while, right, I didn't want to have to be dependent on people when I did have sight to cook for me, so I wanted to be able to learn to cook stuff. So, I guess I'll say for me personally, I learned how to cook some stuff on the stovetop. I don't know, I can't remember the first thing I learned to cook, but I did my specialty, and I know this isn't hard to cook, but something I actually got really good at when I had sight was I got good at making grilled cheese sandwiches. I actually got so good. My mom was the one who taught me how to make them, but I got so good at making them that my dad liked my grilled cheese sandwiches more than my mom's, which was funny. So that was one thing that I really liked making and something that I was pretty good at making. Some other stuff that I could cook, of course, I could cook ramen noodles on the stovetop if I needed to. I learned to cook spaghetti, just you boil the spaghetti noodles and you get some sauce and cheese and you make it and it's all great. I, I tried my hand at eggs, and I honestly wasn't really very good at making eggs, to be honest. So I don't know if you can count that. I guess they were edibles, and that's what counts. So yeah, I could cook pancakes. I was hit or miss with pancakes. Sometimes I was good at them, sometimes I wasn't. It just depended. But so I could cook pancakes. I also could cook French toast. Make your own little mixture with the egg, put some vanilla extract, put some cinnamon, and cook that up. And it was a pretty nice breakfast. Throw some syrup on it if you wanted, and a good old time. So that was something else I could also cook. I did later on try to cook some other stuff. Um, Before I went blind where I lived, I actually cooked hamburger meat, like ground beef. I cooked ground beef one time, and I actually, for my first time cooking it, actually turned out edible. It actually didn't turn out too bad, but that was like the last time I actually tried cooking ground beef. And there was another time as well, a couple times actually, that I actually tried cooking rice. It was white rice. Weirdly, the very first time I cooked it, I think it turned out okay. It could have been way worse because after the other times I tried to cook it, it turned out horrible and it was bad. But the first time it came out kind of okay. So I don't know. I don't know if I could say I could cook rice. I don't know. I know um, I don't know, but it's just weird. Maybe you could say I could. I of course could throw anything that you'd ask me to in the oven. Just follow the instructions and bake it in the oven. So I mean, stuff like that. But I think for the most part, those are kind of the basic things that I could cook. Um, just on my own without anybody's help or all that. And those were just the things I could cook when I had sight. So now being blind, um, I haven't really tried to cook that many things being blind, but one that I really I got decent at, is, I can now cook, not now, but I've been able to do this for a while. I cook hamburger patties on the stovetop. And so I can do that. That's pretty much what I eat every day for something that I cook. There was a time that I did try to cook eggs and I failed horribly at it. Cause, a lot of the times I would just burn it a lot or brown it and the eggs just weren't that great. But I mean, sometimes I could make them edible. I just couldn't make them that well being blind, so I just stopped making them altogether because it wasn't worth it to have to eat my crappy eggs. So I mean, yeah, so that is something I can make, and it can be edible. So I'll count it. Give myself some blind points there. But something else, after I learned how to cook hamburger patties, I ended up, what's the next step? That you would think that after learning to cook hamburger patties as a blind person. Well, I learned how to cook and bake coconut bread. That is right, coconut bread. And you might be like, why in the world would you learn to make coconut bread? Well, because I was doing keto slash low carb. Well, I should say was. I still am. And bread is a no on like low carb and keto, and so I wanted to have a bread substitute to try to fill the void, and so I was like, and there wasn't anything made. I couldn't find any bread made in my stores out of like those things. I couldn't even find them online, and also I wanted it to just be really clean ingredients. So I ended up learning how to bake it and make it on my own. Take make the recipe, bake it. I ended up doing it sometimes, and it turned out okay. I don't know if it was me necessarily or what, but like it would always just come out super dry, and like it wasn't that great. I even eventually got to the point where I was like adding a bunch of cheese. I had like a cup of cheese or more. Like I added a lot of cheese to it once, and like even that, it was still so dry, and like it was really hard to add flavor to it. And like I don't know if it was just something I was doing wrong, but when I like put a bunch of cheese in the mix, it helped a little bit and made it a little more cheesy. But even then, it still didn't have like the flavor I was looking for. So it was just kind of like a bit dry and dull. So I eventually just stopped making it. But it was something I could make. So I don't remember exactly why. I think I chose coconut bread because it was simpler than like making like almond bread or something, and I thought it might taste better. But I just kind of gave up the whole idea and was like, I just won't use it. Also, with the coconut bread, it didn't rise as much, so like there were more like condensed pieces, so it was really hard to use, and so it was weird and didn't work out. But yeah, coconut bread was something I did learn how to cook. So as a blind person, three things that I can cook right now um, are coconut bread, hamburger patties, and eggs to a point. I can kind of make them edible. I don't know. In my mind, I haven't thought about trying to actually cook things and learn what to cook. It's not been a big thing for me, so that's kind of about it. But, for the things I can cook as a blind person and things that I could cook when I wasn't blind. And maybe in the future I'll learn how to cook some other things. It just depends. I don't know. And of course, even now as a blind person, I can still throw stuff in the oven and cook it and bake it and do all that. So that's not a big deal. But yeah. Anyways, that has been it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for listening. I will see you in the next video. Camera. Home button. Camera. Home button. Camera.